Hey, folks, and welcome back to Vetrepreneur Spotlight, where we take you behind the scenes and up front with some of the fantastic companies that we work with right here at the National Veterans Memorial Museum. I'm your host, Justin Lott, coming to you from inside the Museum Exchange. And with us for this month as our spotlight, we have a fantastic artist with us. Actually, the artist who is the creator of the exhibit that we have right downstairs, Kristin Cronic. Thank you for being here, Kristin.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. And so, as always, we like to start off with kind of your vetrepreneur side of it. What makes you a vetrepreneur is your veteran service. You want to talk about what you did for the military?
Sure. I went to the Naval Academy and graduated in 2011 as a surface warfare officer, which means that I served as an officer on ships from 2011 until when I got out in 2017.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate your service. Let's talk about kind of how you got to the academy. What made you want to join the military, or what was that push that kind of led you there?
Sure. I mean, I think like many people, there was a patriotic itch. I was a child of 9/11, and I remember feeling very frustrated that I couldn't step up and serve at that point. And that was where the seed was planted.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was also a matter of just going there and seeing it. It was a bit of love at first sight. And I think that's hard to explain until you're in the military and you maybe understand the appeal to being a part of something bigger than yourself. And I just remember pretty instantly wanting to be a part of it. And then also I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, which is where I live now, which is a Navy town. And there's a lot of ships that come in and out commercially as well. And I always had this curiosity about that side of things. And it kind of all came together. And it got to do that for 6 years, and it was awesome.
So I know there's this story about you in art class in high school. Do you want to talk about how you kind of realized that you could do both?
Sure. Yeah, I always have been an artist since I can remember, which is, I think, the case for a lot of people who get to be artists, call themselves artists. But I remember really agonizing over my decision between going towards the military and going to art school. And one of my teachers in high school, I saw some of his photographs and drawings of his time in Vietnam in the Army, or maybe he was a Marine. I don't know. It was one of the two. And he now taught photography, he taught drawing and painting, and he was the first person to show me that these things can coexist. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. And I knew in that moment, I can always come back to art, but the military has to come first because this is kind of the order of which things go. And so I ended up accepting an appointment to the academy and serving, and then doing art on the side until I got out in 2017 and kind of dove in head first, 2018.
Yeah. And so that art on the side kind of projected you into starting this company, Easel On Stribling. And the company is fantastic. You guys have all the artwork downstairs. And what does the artwork downstairs relate to your military service?
So the exhibit that's going on downstairs is called A Midshipman's Journey, and it's 20 paintings that kind of follow the model of the hero's journey to talk to the transformation that takes place at the Naval Academy, from deciding to go until graduating and then returning after graduation. And that was kind of where this whole thing started. I knew I wanted to explore this story with paint. It was kind of the driving force to how I learned to paint. It was to be able to eventually one day paint this story. And now that it's done, I just have more things I want to paint. But that was where it started. And then it kind of turned into so much more. It turned into an exhibit now. I've gotten to do work on these ideas for the Pentagon, for the Naval Academy Museum, things like that as well. And then also I started to realize I really love creativity in the military space and finding different ways to celebrate that outside of just fine art. And so I turned into illustration, and I designed a coloring book and cards, and the fabric for people who sew. It's just been so much fun, and it keeps growing into new things.
Yeah, you mentioned the coloring book. And so we do have the coloring book here in stores, as well as that fantastic book that kind of outlines the midshipman's journey. Love to have it here. It's been doing fantastic. It's a great piece to add along to the exhibit as a whole. But you also do quite a few other things with your art. You want to talk about that?
Sure. So now I'm a working artist, and it's everything I hoped it would be. It also means I end up doing a lot. So I do but Easel On Stribling is where the work does center around the military community. And but I also have my own fine art where I explore other themes. I use a lot of nature and color. I paint weddings. And basically I just get to use my hands and play with paint all day long. And it's everything I hoped it would be.
Yeah, that seems like a blast. I wish I actually got a painter for my wedding. Those seems to be so fun just to see a live painting going on right as you're kind of living it.
They're a total
They're always
blast.
amazing. So I applaud you for that. But I also wanted to talk to you about your trip to Ohio here soon. So you're
Sure.
going to be in Columbus, correct? Coming up?
I'll be coming up at the end of July. I think it's July 27th and 28th. I'll be teaching a paint and sip workshop where we're going to paint the Columbus skyline, kind of using an impressionist technique that I use in the show downstairs, where we're going to really like use color to like play with this really lovely idea. And then I'll be teaching a family style workshop on Friday morning where it's kids, it's gonna be like school age kids, but families can come with them. And we'll kind of use a more conceptual idea of like having the kids tell the story of their latest school year, using different prompts to create this like storybook of images throughout our time together. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think both will
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. And so to reiterate, it's going to be Thursday, July 27th at 6:30 p.m. We're doing the paint and sip right here at the NVMM. And then the next morning on July 28th, that Friday at 10:30 a.m. is the family art class. And so there's a lot more information up on our website at nationalvmm.org. But Kristin, I want to leave it up to you for any final closing comments that you may have.
I just thank you so much for being a part of this museum and for everyone who's there and visiting. It's a really incredible space. I got to spend a lot of time in it the last time I was up. It's really a space for stories and for veterans of every service and every story to find their own stories there. And I was incredibly touched by it. So just thank you for being a part of it and making this space possible. It's a really, really cool space. And I'm so excited to meet everybody again in person.
Yeah, we're excited to have you back up here. And then we love that you are part of the museum as a whole. Your exhibition downstairs is wonderful. Everyone at home, make sure you come down and check it out. And we take home some of the prints as well that Kristin has created as far as merchandise that you have here at the Museum Exchange. We'll put the link down below for Kristin's store. But of course, we wanted to thank you at home for tuning in to this Vetrepreneur Spotlight. Kristin, thank you again for being the spotlight for the month of July. And we look forward to having you down here at the museum. Everyone at home, make sure you're going out and shopping veteran. Thank you.